Second lesson of Unit 7 Cognitive Development. In last class, we have seen what is meant by cognitive development and Piaget's four stages of cognitive development, and also the difference between Piaget's classroom and Montessori classroom. All right. Now let's discuss about the Jerome Bruner and education. He's also Brunner is also a cognitive psychologist, and he's felt the goal of education should be intellectual development as opposed to rote memorization of facts. And he has some belief regarding learning. As he thought curriculum should foster the development of problem solving skills through process of inquiry and discovery. He was completely against this rote memorization of the facts, like we do the school children do have a habit of by hurting and just expressing that in their answer sheet during their examination. Apart from that, he says instead of this rote memorization, the education and its curriculum should be always fostering the development of problem solving skills in the children. And he wanted that through inquiry and discovery. And also, he believed subject matter should be represented in terms of child's way of viewing in the world. Instead of expressing something as exactly as some facts and some information, the knowledge or the matter that a child is going to learn should be represented the way how a child view the world around him or her. And also the curriculum should be designed that the mastery of skills led to the mastery of still more powerful ones. That they should be able to develop some more skills out of mastering some specific skills as part of their education. And also he advocates teaching by organizing concepts and learning by discovery. And finally he says that culture should shape notions through which people organize their views of themselves and others and the world in which they live. So, apart from what the learning occurs in school setting, the culture itself should shape the notions. We know that every culture will have their norms and notions. So, it should shape that they organize their views themselves, and they need to organize the views according to the people around them, where do they live. Whatever we do learn, it occurs through three different stages of our cognitive representation as inactive, iconic, and symbolic representation. Inactive representation stands for the representation of the knowledge through our actions, where the iconic representation is the visual summarization of images, and the symbolic one is the use of words and the symbols to describe our experiences. Among these three, the inactive stage is the first stage. It involves encoding and storage of information. Means when we do manipulate or when we do learn something for the first time, when we do experience something for the first time, there is a direct manipulation of objects without any internal representation of the object. For example, you can see baby. Baby have a rattle, right? And when baby shakes a rattle, he hears a noise, and the baby directly manipulated the rattle, and outcome was pleasurable sound for the baby. And later, after some time, the baby may shake his hand even when he does not have a rattle with him. So he is not understanding the sound is produced just because of the rattle, that the baby does not have an internal representation of the rattle. That is why the baby will shake hands whenever the baby wish to make sound. And this is what the inactive stage, that encoding and storage of information. That the baby does not understand the rattle is in need to produce a sound. He just know shaking hand, there comes a sound. The second stage is iconic stage. Usually it appears around 5 to 6 years old, and here we do have internal representation of external objects. What we do see, that make an internal representation within us, means we are able to make a mental image of something what we have seen. Now we have the idea, maybe the words and what does it called, we may not be knowing, but we will be able to visualize whatever we have seen, and for the first time, or whatever we have seen and whatever we are familiar with, that can be formed into a mental image or an icon. Here you can see an example of a child is drawing an image of a tree. So thinking of an image of a tree can itself be a representative of that stage. Means in this stage, um, whatever, if you are asking a child in the absence of some objects, think of or imagine there is a huge apple in front of you, so they are able to imagine, because they know what an apple is. Sometimes simply they may not be able to categorize all the fruits, but uh, even with what they are familiar, they will be able to imagine. That's what the stage of iconic. But assigning of the word apple to it will be happening in the next stage. Here in the third stage, it is symbolic stage, where the information is stored in the form of a code or a symbol like language. And that, as I told you, when we reach the symbolic stage, on saying the word apple, we will be able to imagine apple in our mind. Here we have another example. Uh, the word dog is a symbolic representation of a single class of animal. Symbol, unlike a mental image or memorized action, can be classified and organized. And also in this stage, most information is stored as a word or mathematical symbols or in other symbol systems. Even the very shortest way of recording or storage of information will be followed in the third stage, the symbolic stage. Now we have to discuss about the importance of providing nurturing and stimulating environment for the younger ones. During this early childhood, the environment should be very safe, responsive, and nurturing for sure. Why? Because it has a supporting hand in the learning and the development of infants, toddlers, and preschoolers. So, on developing or providing such nurturing and stimulating environment can help to prevent challenging behaviors, and also it can be an intervention for infants and young children with any type of identified disabilities. On providing nurturing and stimulating environment, if there is something, there are some challenges for a child, will be rectified to a limit. And also, according to the division of early childhood recommended practices, the environmental practices refers to the aspects of the space, the materials, the equipment, the routines and activities that practitioners and families can intentionally alter to support each child's learning across developmental domains. There will be some developmental delay in some children if they are provided with a better nurturing and stimulating environment. That delay can cop up a bit. And also if it is with a like a specialist service or any professional support, the child's providing such a nurturing and stimulating environment will foster the difficulties, foster the areas or the challenges that the child is facing to get cured faster or to cope up very faster. That it will foster their cognitive ability to cope up with that challenges. This supporting environment can be there at home, can be there in the school. There are some benefits of well-designed classroom environments as it will support responsive caregiving and it will foster independence and feeling of competence in young children. Well-designed classroom will encourage staff efficiency. It will promote child's engagement, decrease change, challenging behavior, facilitate appropriate social interactions among children, and also provide structure and predictability of child behavior. So the changes in classroom environment arrangements, such as rearranging of the furniture, implementing activity schedules, and altering way of providing instructions around the routines. This all have increased probability of appropriate behavior from children, and also it is very effective in decreasing the probability of challenging behavior. Some children will be having undesired behavior or undesired responses, which we wanted to mold into an adaptive or wanted or desired behavior. So, on rearranging their environment or rearranging what all they things that they are just dealing with will have a great impact on all this. These are the three interdependent components of early childhood environments that we can manipulate also to support our child. These components are physical environment, social environment, and temporal environment. Physical environment stands for the overall design and layout of a room or including its learning centers, materials and furnishing in terms of school. And the social environment is also always about their interaction with their peer, teacher and the family members. And the temporal environment is the timing, the sequence and the length of the routines and activities that they carry out throughout their day-to-day life. In terms of a classroom, the physical environment stands for the layout of the given classroom and the learning centers designed for the children to learn. So, the teacher will be designing the environment by organizing its spaces and furnishing and the materials to maximize the learning opportunities that the children will be actively engaged in learning activities. So, if they do so, teachers can apply concept known as the universal design for learning that stress that what the environment and its materials in it should be accessible to everyone, that the one who have different levels or the different needs in their learning, as maybe some will be very higher, some will be very lower, and mostly people will be belongs to the average category. So they should be providing books at different reading levels, and also there will be people with other needs, physical needs. So however, there should be materials that will be on a easy reach of the shell, easy reach in the shell, that everyone will be able to access it. And even a child with any physical disability should be able to move around in the classroom. So the teacher have some consideration according to the child size and the age appropriate furnishing should be there. And also the teacher have some more responsibilities in making the physical environment in the classroom, to fostering learning atmosphere and attitude in the children. As you see in this picture, this is a classroom for younger ones, and you can see all the shelves are of the height that they can reach. Everything is here, and everything have arranged very properly. Everything is well organized so that everyone can move around through, and also everyone can get access. In the back side, you can see there is a library area as well, and so there will be enough books for them to, and also everything what is required for their learning activities are arranged in a way that it is easily accessible and it is meeting the diverse needs of the children. We do arrange the furnishing and floor coverings. We should be creating spaces that are comfortable, that will lead the children to uh, involve in the intended purposes. Well, like a block area might have bookshelves to set it off a block center, and also there should be a carpeting or a foam flooring to muffle the sound when the blocks fall on the floor. Also, the library area should have a soft, comfortable floor covering for young children and adults to sit on while they look at the books. And when I'm making all these areas, the teacher should be taking care that all the children are visible to adults, and the adults are visible to the children for ensuring the proper supervision. And also, there should be the area designed with the spaces for children to work and play independently or in small groups or together as a community, and establish a clear boundaries to indicate whether the center spaces begins and ends, and consider the location of centers like high activity levels, and like block centers and dramatic play areas, music centers. It differ from the school to school, and however, they should not be located close to centers with quieter activities like listening centers and computer areas. And also consider the number and size of centers that the children should be engaged without being crowded over there, and also create cozy private spaces that create safe spaces where children can retreat to rest, observe, and recharge emotionally throughout the day. Selection and the placement of material is another important area in arranging a better physical environment for the younger ones. Like the toys and the physical objects, they are age appropriate and developmentally appropriate, and also the linguistically and culturally relevant for the children in the classroom. And also, there should be variety of blocks to allow children with varying motor skills to manipulate them. And also, they should be placed that everything is easily accessible. And when our teacher is making all these arrangements, they can organize materials and keep them appropriate places, and also need to think on the development of independence and skills, and also providing the materials in specific centers. And also, uh, they should not be too much excess uh, resources. Instead, there should be uh, like limited resources, and they should not be, and also need to ensure that they are not arguing over these limited resources. And then uh, these all centers that we are arranging for the children should be ready when they arrive in the classroom, that they can readily move on to their centers of the choice, and ensure that the diversity and ability level of the children is meeting when you are purchasing specific items, and also uh, placing those items in the shelves, that they do not get hurt, that we need to ensure that on dealing with every materials, the safety is given the first priority, and these safe play items that offer developmentally appropriate and challenges to promote the growth of problem solving skill, and also encourage children to help to make decisions about the materials, and rotating materials to promote the children's interest, that every child should be passing by every centers, that to ensure that everyone is having the accessibility to every materials. These younger ones will not be knowing everything in a sudden, even with your first instruction. So, designing and a display of visual materials are very much important. Like there should be posters for displaying in the classroom, with that they do follow the rules and the daily schedules, and the complete routine while they do wash their hands like this, so they can follow everything step by step. And when making it, the teacher should consider they are given spaces for displaying children's work, so that they will be feeling pride in it, and they will be feeling the ownership of the classroom when the classroom is exhibited with their own works. So that will offer the children the opportunity for language development when the children talk about their work to the other children, or when the teacher talk about it, and it helps their language skills to develop their language skills. And posting visuals at the eye level of children, that they can see them, and using visuals to indicate when the sentence is closed. Okay, so that means the children will develop a habit of following the labels, and displaying materials that are representatives of environment diversity, and labeling centers, and frequently used materials in languages that represent home language of children in the classroom, so that it will be easily understood, and later on we can move on to the desired language. Then having children bring pictures of their families that can be displayed, that to feel comfortable and at home in their environment. So these all are what the things that we have to take care when we are displaying the and designing the corners in the classrooms. Also, it's very much mandatory to provide enough and appropriate lighting and sound, that it will be appropriate for good learning environment. That should be comfortable for the children, and also conducive to the different activities throughout the day. Uh, when the teachers have to ensure that the natural lighting or lighting from the windows is best when available, and also it will if we are having a different mode of lights in the class, it can be utilized to create a specific mood in the children, and also using flooring materials that muffle sounds, as we discussed a bit earlier, that will ensure it reduces noise. Unlike the adult children or the grown-up children, younger ones will not be that much caring in dealing with the objects and materials around them. So, it there are much more chances for objects that they are using to fall down. So if you are having muffles and material that muffles, it can reduce the sound to a limit. And also the chair should be with rubber leg bottoms that also again reduce the sound, and also can wall hangings, wraps, and soft furnishing. So everything should be uh, used with an appropriate lighting and sound. Some children are very sensitive to sound and bright light, so that also teachers should take care when they do design the class. Collaborating with the families is another important area on the cognitive development of the children. As they are sent to the school, the teacher should collaborate with the family, that to reflect the importance of the family, and they can also support the child, providing better physical environment at home. So the teacher should create a parent communication board and a welcome area in the room to share information about their child. And also we need to request a family to send their photos, that the teacher can display those photos in the classroom, like you are seeing here, like a family tree the children can make it in the classroom. And also we have to ensure that the parents are providing enough resources and representatives of materials and objects in the back in their home, and ensure the diversity of family within the program, that the families throughout the world and throughout the things and artifacts and artwork, post everything, even everything is set in the classroom. So the people, the younger ones also get to know the diversity around the world. Arranging the physical environment in a classroom, we need to consider the children with the disabilities, if it is there, that they do have the access to the resources and materials, and they do have the facility to move around in the classroom. However, according to their need, we need to change and modify the chairs to meet their needs, and also we need to modify the materials like markers, and make easier for the children with the motor difficulties to hold on. And also we need to provide specialized equipment for them to move around. And also if it's needed, the school should provide the specialist services, in school specialist services. We are like occupational therapist or speech therapist, any psychotherapist. And also we need to make the room for specialized equipment and assistive technology, and ensuring the creating visualize the visual materials to help the children to take part in their daily routines. So we need to know what the need of this special child, and need to modify everything appropriately. That is what we can do. For today, hope you got the concept. We'll continue in next class. Thank you. Take care. Thank you for joining with me. Bye bye.